Good evening, everyone. Today, I want to talk about this concept of authority. They were all astonished at his teaching, for he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. What was the difference between Jesus' teaching and that of the scribes? It was the authority. Well, authority could be said in many different ways, but authentic authority comes from two things. First, it comes from coherency of life, honesty of life, and second, from true love. Sometimes we hear people talk and 말이 말 같지 않은 사람들 있죠. 뭔 말을 해야 돼? Those people lack authority to say those words. Why? Because they do not back it up with their lives. I remember as a seminarian, it took me a long time to become priest since I entered the seminary when I was like 20, and it took me about 14 years to become priest. Hard head, right? But there was this priest who really took care of me all the time. And I often say to you, 똑바로, right? But he would say something like that to me in Italian. And he would just say, Mattia. And that'll kind of take care of, because I mean, as you know me, 천방직죽, right? So he would always look at me, but his life was always coherent. Whatever he taught, he did. Whatever he promised, he delivered. And I knew that when he was telling me something, it was for my own good. And sometimes I had wild things in my head, and I would hear, even though he wasn't there, kind of like saying, Mattia, and I would be like, okay, I guess I won't do that. Do you have people like that in your life? This is very important. We have to have authority in our lives. When I say something, people have to say, well, if he said it, it must be true. If she said it, she must know what she's talking about. We live in a world full of words. You turn on television, you turn on radio, internet, podcast, broadcast, all kinds of cast, and gossip, and all these words everywhere. Everybody's talking about something. And none of them remain in our hearts because those words are empty words. Us as Christians, as Catholics in the world, we have to be like Jesus. When we say something, people have to be astonished. When was the last time you talked and people said, whoa? I mean, that's how we have to be. That's what Christians are about in the world. When we speak, people have to stop and say, you know what? There's something about those words. You know, church is talked bad about all the time. You know why? It's because of us. It's because the church says something and then we live like those words don't matter or they don't exist. It is very important that we know what the church teaches and we live according to those teachings. Our lives are coherent with what we profess. We profess every week, I believe in one God, and the rest. And when we say we believe, it doesn't mean I believe it with my head and that's it. My life has to profess. That's what martyrs do. We give witness in the world. Our lives and our words and our actions have to speak loud in the world. The world is upside down, screwed up. It's because we are not doing our part. Do I live with coherency of life? My words and my thought, what's in my heart and what comes out of my mouth, do they coincide? Or many times I just make it up. Just, well, it sounds good right now. It makes me look good right now, so I'll just say it. Or you promise something with your words, but you never fulfill it. You know, with your parents, it's the worst thing. When I'm sure when you have conflicts with your parents, if they tell you to do things that they don't do, you just, come on, Mom. With what authority do you tell me to do this? And next time, when you will be parents, well, think about it. If you don't have a coherency of life, there is no authority. And we're just making noise in the world. World full already of so much noise, we put in more noise. What is my life like? My life in the world, does it transmit mission? Does it transmit meaning? Does it transmit warmth to other people? Or am I just like, when some people talk, people hear me talk, they say, yeah, whatever. Or when I open my mouth, does everybody shut up and listen to me? Well, we have to examine if my life is like that of Jesus. Jesus said what he thought, and he lived out what he said. That's why he had authority. Whereas the scribes, they were like blah, 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 blah. If I came here and I read you a text and it sounds like I copied it from Google, I'm sure you, like in today's world, 10 seconds, you disconnect. Yeah, whatever, if I don't know. Yeah, okay, that's nice. You have to back up what you say with your life. And we come to profess today that we believe in one God, that we are Catholics in the world, that we have a mission in the world. Do I believe it? Do people see it? That's very, very important. You have to, when you receive Jesus in the Eucharist today, you have to talk to him about it. What is my life like? Does my life have authority? If it doesn't, probably there are cracks. There are discrepancies between what I think, what I say, and between what I say and what I live. Let's look at Jesus and learn from him that when your life has a unity and every word that you speak is backed up with our lives, then we're living a solid life that shines in the world. Also, Jesus wasn't all mushy and nice about everything. He was nice, he was kind, he was gentle and meek. But when he had to say something strong, oh boy. 독사의 자식들아. You sons of snake. 독사가 영어로 뭐더라? 하여튼 그거 알지? 응? Those are harsh words. Okay? That's out of Jesus' mouth. But you know what? It still rang a bell in everybody's heart because even though his words were harsh, he was transmitting love. He meant the good of the people who were listening to him. This is the fountain of true authority in our lives. It doesn't matter how we say it. Sometimes we say it bluntly, sometimes we say it very softly and gently. It doesn't matter. You could say it, we could beautify it or 포장. You could wrap it up really nice with nice words. That's what the advertisements are all about. I don't know, maybe some of you are into advertisement. That's nice. But everybody sees right through. You know, Nike, when he says just do it, they don't care about your happiness. What they care about is that you buy, so that they'll take money out of your pocket. That's what we see. And when that happens, there is no authority. But when you have somebody, a true friend, who says, you know what, I think you're making a mistake. And that person says it with true love, interested not for his own interest, but your interest, for the other's interest, with true love, then those words ring bell in our hearts. let us look at Jesus during this Mass. Let us contemplate his heart. Let us contemplate his life and see how his life, his words, and his actions are one and the same, coherent all the time. And that coherency comes from love. Let us ask him that we may imitate him, so that we too in the world may speak out with authority.